Morning. Today we are correcting our last objective for Unit 5, CO43. I can solve two-step equations. This was a little more challenging for some of us, remembering how to figure out to do the two steps. We know how to do the adding and subtracting step. We know how to do the multiplying and dividing step. This is just putting them both together, doing SAD verb. We add, subtract first, we multiply, divide second. We did some of these together, but a lot you had to do on your own. So I'm just going to go through the answers in each row. And if you have a question, I want you to ask me. If you're one of my many friends who did not prepare their homework, do not write it in as we're going through. This will be your way of preparing for the test by actually doing your homework tonight. Okay? So you still need to do the work. This will be on the test. So we have n equals 5, n equals 4, n equals 8, n equals 5. Any questions on how I got those? All right, next row, I have n equals 8, n equals 300, n equals 66, n equals 27. Layla, I would like you to go to the back table by Marina. Any questions on how I got any on the bottom row? Again, that was 8, 300, 66, and 27. We understand those ones? Amanda. All right, first step, we were adding 6, so we need to subtract 6. So then we have n over 9 equals 9 minus 6 is 30. Did you have that?
I put 9 or n over 9 equals 9 minus 6 equals 9 6.
So it should have been minus 6. So look up here a minute. See how we subtracted 6 from both sides? So then we would add n over 9, because 6 minus 6 is 0. And then 9 minus 6 is 3. So then here we're dividing by 9. So we want to multiply each side by 9. That makes sense?
Yeah.
Because we were dividing 9 divided by 9. We had to multiply that 9 in there so we could divide a 9 out. So it should have been 3 times 9. Okay. Any other questions? All right, let's look at our second page. We have n equals 14, n equals 813, n equals negative 18, n equals 72. Any questions on those ones? 14, 813, negative 18, and 72. And then our second row, negative 2, 55, 88, and 28. Any questions on any of those?
Oh, wait.
All right, then at the bottom, it says write a two-step equation with a solution of 36 and a variable value of 5. So who created one? Dominic, come on up and show us what you did, what your equation was, and then we'll see if it works. Okay, so the way this is supposed to work, and there might be stuff like this on the test, so we need to understand how this works. It's got the solution of 36 it needs a variable value of 5. So when I work it all out, that n needs to equal 5. So if I do minus 6, I have 5n equals 30. So then I divide by 5, and I have n equals 6, not 5. So it was a good equation, but we wanted to put that 6 on the outside and have the n be the 5. So just remember, when it tells you a variable value, that's what you want your variable to equal. So you just needed to switch that, and you should have said 6, let me do it up here, 6n, oops, plus 6 equals 36. And then it would have worked, just switching those two around. I saw somebody else raising their hand. Is that you, Marina?
I think I did it wrong. So.
Well, come on up and let's see. Because we learn from our mistakes, so we get better at the test.
I wrote it down like not how I was supposed to.
Let me see real quick. Yeah. Right, but we want it to be like a two-step equation.
Yeah.
So we do want it to be our two-step equation. So we don't want to just put an expression. And what Marina had written down worked. She did n times n plus 10 plus 1. That does equal 36, but it's not a two-step equation. We want it to be those two-step equations. Okay. So the way that we have it set up for all of the other ones, that's how we want to set it up. Anybody else have a two-step equation? Ruby, come on up. All right, let's see if this works. So I'm plus 11, so I'm going to subtract 11. So I have 5n equals 25. I'm multiplying by 5, so I want to divide by 5. So I have n equals 25 divided by 5 is 5. Very good. Our solution was 36, and n equals 5. Good job. Ruby, just so people know, how did you come up with that? Do you remember? I know it was all the way last week.
I think I just tried to do like 5 times 5, but then that was 25, and then I saw what.
So knowing your multiples of 5, if our variable value has to be 5, and we're going to be multiplying or dividing by 5, so if they get through, what times 5 gets me close to 36, and then what do I add or subtract to actually get to 36? That is a great way of solving it. Let's look at our bottom one. Write a two-step equation with a solution of -8 and a variable value of -1. Who can come show us what they came up with? And if you did not come up with one the right way, you're realizing, oh, I totally missed the mark, come up with one right now. Solution of -8, and our variable is -1. So something either multiplied or divided by -1, add or subtract something to get us a -8. So right now, everybody should be trying to work it out. Don't just sit and stare off into space. Be trying to work something out. And we're all going to have to do this on the test and create our own two-step equation. Raise your hand when you think you've got one. It's okay if it's not perfect. It's okay if it's not correct. We'll work it out like we've been with the other ones. So here, this is on the test. So you're goofing around right now is not helping you. Who thinks they found one? A two-step equation that equals -8. Ruby, come on up. Yeah, you bring it up. So remember when we do our two-step equations, we want a multiplying or dividing, and we want an adding or subtracting. So on the test, you need to make sure you have both steps, adding or subtracting, multiplying or dividing. You're correct, and that would equal -8, but it wasn't the two steps. So what I would do, I'm looking at that, I know it has to equal -8, and I know my n is -1. So let's say I multiply that by 2. What does that become? What is 2n? 2 times -1. Oh my goodness, friends. What is 2 times -1? Ava?
-1?
2
Oh,
times,
-2?
yeah, -2.
Well, no, I thought you.
Right? So this would be, I know that's going to be -2. How do I go from -2 to -8? What do I need to subtract? If I'm on the number line and I'm at -2, I want to subtract to get to -8. What am I going to subtract, Marina? Yeah. Don't overcomplicate these. You know it's going to equal this. And just like Ruby said with her multiples of 5, I want to get close to. So I did 2. I could have done 3 or 4, 5, 6, whatever to multiply, and then subtracting to get to -8. Does that make sense? All right. If you are watching this elsewhere, we hope you are well. We hope to see you soon. Have a wonderful day.